All right, NAIA football fans, this is the NAIF Ball live show, Flag Football Conference Championship Edition. I am Cory Thorpe, your host, and behind me, well, that's where we're going to be. This is where we're headed. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, and several teams just either punched their ticket or maybe they'll get left out. But before we get started, this live show is powered by AdCraft Custom Apparel and Merch, your custom apparel, merch, and all things design experts since 1974. They've been around for 50 years next year. Let them put their expertise to work for you. But let's get to the getting. Let's see what we had over the last week. Let's start in the Sun Conference, where Thomas starts off with a demolishing of Weber. Alexa Wilson's 20 of 27 for $173, a touchdown and a pick. The big thing here, you don't see running backs going off very often in flag football. But here you see Janae Scott, 2 attempts, 77 yards, one of those a 64-yard touchdown of her two. 2 attempts, 2 touchdowns. Sam Wilson was 29 of 49 for 232 and 4 interceptions. Thomas had their way with Sam Wilson. Breasia Robinson did have a good day with 47 yards on 8 catches, but it was too much there for the Weber offense as Thomas won 33-14. Going over into the KCAC, Ottawa opens up a 61-6 win over Cory College. Cory was not able to put much together. Anya Karula had 7 receptions for $123. That accounts for over half of Jennifer Haberstock's yards there, and they just could not move the ball. They were 0 for 1 in the red zone. If you only get in the red zone one time in a flag football game, you're in trouble. And you get that way by being 5 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down. On the other side, Ottawa is 3 of 3 on 3rd down. They had no 4th down conversions. They only hit 3rd down 3 times. They were 6 of 7 in the red zone, and Maddie Carrera went 19 of 21 for 266 and 5 touchdowns. Back in the Sun, St. Thomas takes care of Kaiser in an instant classic game, setting up a game between Thomas and St. Thomas that the Nighthawks win 26-19. Tashumba Washington does get a long touchdown catch at the end of the half to make it close, but Holly Neer, with 3 interceptions to go along with 3 touchdowns, just can't get it done. Margarita Pena was just clutch throughout the day. The center went for 6 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. Alexa Wilson throws for 4 touchdowns, and Thomas takes the Sun Conference and punches that automatic bid. Ottawa does the same. I do not have the box score on me here. Wasn't available when we put the box scores together, but they opened up a large lead over Kansas Wesleyan, won, I believe, 34-14. Let me double check that here, make sure I'm telling you right. Fairly certain. Yes, it was 34-14. I will make sure here. I shouldn't doubt myself. 34-14 was the final there. So, let's take a look at how that impacts our top 4. And we've got a little bit of a narrowing here between Ottawa and Thomas. It doesn't look like it too much on paper, but Ottawa and Thomas are actually tied for first. Ottawa gets the tiebreaker on the fact that they have 3 first-place votes. St. Thomas at 3rd, Kaiser at 4th, and Kansas Wesleyan gets a vote on the receiving votes end. And yes, we have provided our top 4 to NFL Flag for them to use for their seating purposes come in 3 weeks. Hang tight with us. We'll be back here on the NAIFBALL Live Show.
So you want to create and sell custom merch for your team or business. That's exciting, but where do you begin? How much inventory should you order? How do you distribute orders? AdCraft has your answers. Streamline the way you offer custom merch by utilizing our risk-free web store service. We ship directly to each customer, and we have the fastest turnaround in the game. Raise funds for your team or get merch to your employees and patrons. Contact AdCraft today, and let's bring your merch to life.
And that is exactly what they do. They bring your merch to life. And we thank them for supporting us and being longtime supporters of the NAIF ball. Let's take a look at our players of the week. Alexa Wilson takes it for the offense. She has 5 touchdown passes on 73.7% passing against both St. Thomas and Weber, who is very close to about number 5, number 6 in the nation here. So against really fantastic competition, Alexa Wilson very much showed why Chelsea Palmer of Thomas gives her the keys to the offense, even though she's a freshman. On the defensive side, you can't not give it to Kiera Knight. The cornerback and wide receiver has 4 pulls and 3 picks in 2 games, including the game-sealing pick against St. Thomas to win TU the conference championship. So, what is this going to look like in Atlanta? Who is going to be doing what? And Cory, did I hear you correctly that 2 teams are going to be eliminated? That's right. This year's bracket in Atlanta, rejoice with me, we no longer have to worry about point differential. If you remember, last year we had ties at the end of pool play. And, well, we had some disagreements here as members of the media on how you should do tiebreakers. I have a solution for that. Double elimination. No pool play. The top 4 teams will receive byes. Now, who gets that number 1 seed and that number 2 seed is really going to be up for debate. I personally believe, feelings aside, I believe that Thomas is the best team in the nation. I believe that their body of work, even with 1 loss, shows me that they are the better team, and their score lines against those great teams confirm what I'm seeing, and the eye test proves it. If it's me, I'm putting Thomas 1, Ottawa 2, St. Thomas 3, Kaiser 4. Those are getting my top 4 there. Now, if we go further down, who am I putting in 5, 6, 7, 8? In order, I would go Weber, Kansas Wesleyan, Midland, Warner. Now, you might ask, man, why are you putting Kansas Wesleyan so low? I do like what Kansas Wesleyan has done. They just have not, 1, been able to match up long-term with Ottawa, and 2, one of those blemishes on their 13-4 record is a loss to albeit a very good, but still a community college team. And that can be a problem there. Midland was good, but they got defeated by Kansas Wesleyan on more than 1 occasion. And so I think that Warner right now should rank in below them due to issues with the quarterback there at Warner. Now, my next 4 are really going to raise eyebrows, because this is where folks are going to tell me that I am an absolute Sun Conference homer, and, well, I might be. My bottom 4 are number 9, Florida Memorial. Yes, 2-win Florida Memorial. Cotty, Reinhardt, and Campbellsville. Yes, I'm taking Campbellsville and Reinhardt over Bethel and St. Mary. Those Campbellsville and Reinhardt both beat St. Mary and or Bethel during the season, and head-to-head matchups matter. And actually, I believe Reinhardt even beat Cory, who is at 6-12. Reinhardt being at 3-10. Unfortunately, you've got to leave two teams out. St. Mary has not had the body of work. Bethel and St. Mary's one win each comes against each other. They've played twice. They've split. And so, to me, that means that they're just not as good as the rest of, one, the KCAC and everyone else they've played. Now, call me out for my Sun Conference homerism. I totally get it. It's a valid critique, seeing that I have Florida Memorial at number 9, but Florida Memorial is a very solid squad, and I've seen them play very tough against top 4 teams, making both Kaiser and St. Thomas very nervous. If you don't come out and play hard against Florida Memorial, they're going to whip your rear end. That's just the way it is. So that would be my 12. Now, the fun about this is we get a loser's bracket. So if you do lose one, you're not done. You can come back and play through, and you will have a chance, which means that if you lose an effective 1-2 matchup in game number 19, but you come back and you win back through 20 and 21, or you win back in 21, you have a chance, again, at a national championship banner. And that's the big thing here. Who's going to come out strong? Who's going to do the work here? We are very thankful for y'all's support over this last year. I am actually going to have a larger role in this year's tournament, hopefully, as hopefully I will be calling some games for NFL Flag here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which look, I'm just a normal guy who gets to talk football, not even for a living. He gets to talk football for fun, and I'm going to get to call games at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and that, for just a guy like me, is definitely a dream come true, and so very, very thankful to have this opportunity to call games, and to do so in a professional football stadium. That's going to be super cool. But we couldn't do it without the support of our patrons. If you're not a patron, please consider going to patreon.com/NAIAFBALL and putting some and signing up. It's $1 a month, and you help support our coverage of flag football, and conventional football, but you help us, make the drives up to Thomasville to go call games, to go see Thomas and all these squads. You help make the trips to Atlanta for me. Those cost money, and for our folks that are interested in conventional football, this is how we get to the national championship game, is via our patrons and our sponsors, but our patrons are the foundation on which we build. And those patrons are DSU Cone, Kyle Gregory, Darren, Tyler Pierce, Bob Boone, Justin Hoffman, Roger Meyer, Steve Speakman, Jeremy Vobble, Brian Shake, Shirley Labella, Julianne Shager, Fred Christensen, Nate Soapbeer, Alex Garcia, Stephen Cutler, Jerry Quickle, Julie Lout, Ace Wellen, Tim Burrow, Marty Seabolt, Dale Norton, Justin Cobb, Nathan Moore, Nick Ryan, and Hayden Ferrigno. So let's take a check of everything here. Don't see any comments here. If you do have a comment, let me know, and I will respond to it here, but otherwise, we're definitely almost there. Man alive, we are so almost there. Just a few more weeks, and we will be in Atlanta. I absolutely cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute blast, just like last year. So much great flag football. I was so happy to go last year with Thomas. Going this year with NFL flag will be so much fun, and cannot wait to do it and to give flag football the respect it deserves. It is absolutely an incredibly valid sport to have. The girls that play it are incredibly athletic. Saw it in full force on Saturday and Friday with so many just playing their heart out. Linnea Leone just so left it all out on the field. I have only seen that a couple times where players just so exhausted. But congratulations to Thomas, who clinches a guaranteed spot. Congrats to Ottawa, who clinches a guaranteed spot. And for the rest, well, we'll just have to wait and see what it brings. So when we find out, we'll share it with y'all. And otherwise, we're going to take a break here for a couple weeks on the NAIAFBALL Live show. And we'll be back afterwards to recap all the action from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And keep your eyes out, because there's more flag football on the way.